Hello.
Hello. Hey, everybody. Hopefully you can hear us now.
There we go. Yep.
Woohoo.
We are so back.
We're so bad. Oh, playing Once Human. It's a good game.
I have not played since like its launch. It's probably so different by now.
Yeah, they've done a lot of updates. A lot of collabs,
Yeah, I
too.
see. Yeah. I see the ads for them a lot of the time.
Oh, thanks, Melly Pixie, for the subscription. Welcome back. Oh my god, if 700 hours in Once Human, that's crazy.
Dang.
That is the kind of game you can sink 700 hours into. It's crazy. It has so many things, so many systems.
Mm-hmm. Balek Ripdan, welcome to the chat.
Also, we had some people who followed us since the last time we streamed, so I'll give a quick shout out to Chocoladui, Vespanoid, Leia Blue, Air Killer, Tech Coadle, Monty Blue, Jen Evernight, Zari May, Adela Ramirez, Renaico, and then we just had Melly Pixie resub. Thanks everybody for the follows and subs. Welcome back.
Oh, did you post into Voyagers announcements yet?
No, I forgot.
Let me do it.
Yay. Yay.
Oh wait, but you're the one with the image of our faces.
Oh. I don't really have it. It's just like I copy paste it.
Okay. I'll do it.
Go to Twitter right now.
I'm
Got
gonna
a few
download
minutes.
this image. I'm gonna download this image. I got it.
Good luck. You know, snipping tool it.
Eh.
It's like grouped. You can't like download it.
Oh god. Okay, I'm gonna
Snipping tool. Snipping tool. The issue you had with Nera is frame dropping when looking at the waterfall and in combat. I don't know when's the last time you tried, but we did do an update a while ago to try to fix issues with the waterfall to like reduce the shadows and some things that we think might have been contributing to that. And we also just recently did some bug fixes that we'll talk about a little bit today to fix some things that were causing some kind of unexpected frame drops, especially while you were like near the shoreline. So it could be, if you haven't tried, especially in the latest patch, that it might be a little bit better. But if it's not, we would love to hear that because we're definitely looking into performance issues right now as like our top priority and trying to figure out what's going on for people because lots of different people have different kinds of issues. I tried playing Enshrouded, but not a fan of how they did the inventory there. Yeah, Enshrouded has a lot of good qualities, but I wouldn't say that their inventory management is one of them. Not for me, anyway. Sarah Barra, welcome! Always happy to see you in our chat. Since we're posting the announcement, I'll probably give another minute or so for people to filter in.
Posting on Twitter.
I feel like, I don't know if it's just me looking at the Twitch stream or if it's the broadcast, but it's like low quality for me. Oh, it's my Twitch settings. It's like a 360p. Okay.
I do that for bandwidth reasons.
Yeah. Welcome in. First time chat from Audra Fox. Hope I pronounced that close enough. Is there only one spirit that gives you more inventory slots, or are there more? There's at least 2 right now, but we're also gonna do some updates where we're gonna have a lot more of them. So expect some more in the future. But we thought that was it was kind of our first time doing that kind of upgrade, so we were like, oh, let's see how this goes, and people like this. But yeah, I think people really liked it, so we'll add some more.
Everyone loves holding more loot.
Oh, yeah, also, yeah, I did see you were first time chatter. Thank you, Joni. Joniel? Joan L? Must be Joni. It has 2 E's. I hope. Feel free to correct me.
Okay, all right, I posted
Yeah,
them.
Awesome. Let's go ahead then and dive in. So, for anyone who's joining us for the first time or hasn't caught a stream before, I'm Stephanie. I'm the lead producer here at Treehouse, working on Voyagers of Nera. So, I handle a lot of what the team is working on and when, what kind of features are going into the game, when do patch updates come to you. Also, like our beta playtesting and playtesting generally. Feedback servers, kind of like a little bit of everything, anything the team needs. Michael, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, I'm Michael. I'm one of the co-founders at Treehouse, and I'm our CEO. Nowadays on Voyagers, that's mostly on a lot of like external marketing stuff for trying to figure out how we like launch in other regions and some of our sort of like relationshipy stuff. But it's been a long road to shipping Voyagers, and we're very glad that it's out because now we get to talk about a live game, which is super fun, as opposed to stuff that people have no context about because they haven't played. So that's pretty fun for us.
Yeah, it's been really awesome to continue to do these streams, even because we started them kind of much before the game shipped to start to kind of give updates about the status and like when it was coming out and how the game was developing and get feedback from playtesters. But it's been really fun to like kind of transform this stream a little bit after the game has shipped and see new people coming in all the time, and a lot of the excitement's really awesome. Hi, Dicey Wolf, welcome in. Melly Pixie asks, has the bug been fixed where the maps show the wrong number of spirits found if you played before? No, unfortunately not. We have to do a little bit of a bigger change than you might expect to fix that issue. So we're working on figuring out how to properly fix that issue without potentially messing up people's save data. So we do want to fix it. It's on our radar, but we don't have a fix for it currently. Foxy Nix is on a 3-stream streak. Welcome in. Thanks for joining us as always. Awesome. So let's go ahead and talk about what's been happening lately with Voyagers. Coding is not an easy task. Yeah, it can be pretty tricky. So we had a new patch. Was it yesterday? 2 days ago? I think 2 days ago. I don't know. Yesterday-ish, approximately.
2 days ago.
The other day is the southern way to say that. So that you don't have to know which day it was. New patch the other day, where it was mostly focused on bug fixes and quality of life updates, especially acting on some of the bugs that people found during the Ships and Spirits update. So if you don't know, if you're joining also for the first time, we did a big update in December where we added building on the boat, we added progression to our spirit companions and new abilities and a bunch of cool stuff in that update. And then we just the other day, shifted a bug fix and quality of life update to fix some of the issues that happened during those, fix also some long-standing issues and some performance issues. So there's a lot of changes in that patch. You can find it on our Steam blog, or our events and announcements updates, through like the Steam webpage. Excuse me. But we had definitely a wide range of fixes, but some big heavy hitters, especially I think that had been plaguing people, were things like the ammo not changing to a new stack when you exhausted a stack of arrows in your inventory, a performance issue with the crabs on the shoreline causing FPS drops for people, sometimes pretty severely. That one's a really fun game dev bug. So if you look at the patch notes, you'll get a little context into why. Also, some performance issues with the boat. We added a lot of things to the boat and a lot of things you can do with the boat, but it made boats a lot more expensive, and people built a lot more boats than we thought that they would, which is really cool. But it means there was an outsized performance impact. So we've done some updates to make boats a little bit more performant. So now you can have multiple boats on your server. So hopefully that'll alleviate a lot of the really painful server lag people, I think, especially in multiplayer, were getting, or just like general low FPS if you were playing single player. So that's some of like the biggest heavy hitters, but there was a lot of fixes in that patch, and also like a lot of quality of life updates related to save data, making sure it's more reliable, continuing to expand how many things are available on controllers, all kinds of stuff. So definitely check out the full patch notes. And as always, we'll be continuing to like bug fix and continue to push out updates. One really specific note to make, especially for people that are having low performance, two things. One, it's our top focus right now, And while we only got a few fixes into the January patch, we really hope to ship some more hot fixes that are going to fix some more performance issues. So right now we're really trying to deep dive into why performance is low, what's happening on a few vectors, because sometimes it's like the FPS is low because assets are like expensive and so it just takes a lot to render them. Sometimes it's like things are like loading in inefficiently, so your game is like hitching is what we call it, or it's kind of like dropping some frames really severely for a short time, but that makes the game feel really bad. So we're really trying to like figure out many root causes for different performance issues and try to make it overall better. So if you're experiencing performance issues, even in the latest update, it would be really helpful if you came into Discord, started a thread, we could kind of work with you to understand what kind of performance issues you might be having. And we're going to hopefully have some updates to our beta branch soon where we'll ask people if they can like load in and help us test performance. So I think especially if you are having performance issues, it would be super, super helpful to have you come in and help us test and also help us understand more of why you might be having a performance issue, because it can vary a lot between different computers. Excuse me.
To add to that, there's a little like performance, I feel like, is something that we've all seen the highs and lows of that from like lots of games that we've played. But man, performance is like this endless battle that goes on. Every time you tweak anything in the game, it has potential to affect the performance. But we've been through a lot of arcs of like doing compatibility testing and like specific performance testing with external vendors, and actually like spending like some budget on trying to get like a variety of computers to all run against the game. But all of that is still just like a tiny fraction of the amount of eyeballs that we get as soon as people play the game live. So any sort of feedback is crazy helpful because it's just sort of like this constant whack-a-mole, and even the tools that we were like trying to use like professionally, I guess, to get some of those is it's nowhere near enough. And it's a huge challenge. So yeah, any help is super, super helpful.
Oh, we're having some audio issues, it sounds like. Let's see if we can fix that.
Hello.
Oh,
I hear you pretty clearly.
that's funny. People said they don't hear me very clearly. Struggling to hear Michael and playing the volume when they switch up. The audio's good on some people's end. Michael's a little soft. We can turn Michael up a little bit. He's just so rowdy in these meetings, you don't have to turn him down all the time.
A Gaming AT, welcome to the chat. Is there a way to make sleeping progress time-based task, or be too difficult for the game systems?
That's a good question. We may revisit that in the future, but we didn't do it because it's pretty difficult for the game systems and the way we track that data. And we're not typically a very like heavy automation game or something like that, where I think you get a lot of benefit from that. But we are going to kind of expand refinement a bit in one of our upcoming patches, and I'll probably talk about that. So it may be back. It probably won't hit for that update because I bet it's going to be a really big refactor. But that shift might make it something we're more interested in doing too. So I think also thank you for the first time chat and that question. But definitely if you, especially with some of the subsequent updates, keep feeling like you would really want that, definitely let us know, because I think we're always open to revisiting stuff like that. And I think as like time passing mechanics kind of become more important, it could make sense to like bring that back up too. But before, we didn't really have a lot of like refinement activities really, so we didn't really see, and it is a pretty difficult task to do, so we didn't really see like a lot of value in it. But I think we're always open to revisiting that. Okay, hopefully the audio's a little bit better now. I turned Michael a little bit up, but definitely if it's still bad, let me know. And I moved the mic closer to my face, so hopefully I'm a little more audible if I was not. But yeah, so definitely check out the full patch notes for all of the changes and more things coming soon. Some positives, though, I think I was really happy to see some of this, is that some people are reporting already that performance with those changes is improving, which is really awesome. So again, we're going to continue to make performance improvements. Like Michael said, it's a lot of whack-a-mole, a lot of like us even figuring out how to use some of these tools. Welcome first time chatter, Halo X 206. So we're definitely trying to figure out how to approach fixing these things. But I'm really glad that this is already helping some people with either their general stability, like with the crab issue, or I think Mythical Sushi had a lot of boats, actually. I think they had like 8+ boats on their server, which was very impressive. But I think, so for people that had a lot of boats, even more than like 3 or so, your performance should be much better now, because if you're not close to a boat, it doesn't simulate anymore, which helps a lot. What was the crab issue, please? The crab issue was that it has like an error in its like character rig, which is like the skeleton that makes like characters move. And that error doesn't manifest in any sort of like visible bug as far as we know. But what it does do is it creates a lot of spam in the game log. And we thought for a long time that logs were disabled for like our production builds, so that like even if the game would have been logging, ideally it shouldn't have been, and it shouldn't have been using that computing power. But it turns out we were wrong, and it wasn't writing to your log, but it was still using all of your computer processing power to tell us that it would be writing to the log if it could. And so your game was like, there's something wrong, there's something wrong, there's something wrong. So that was the issue with the crab bug. So we've fixed the logging so that it doesn't do that, at least for that use case. But those kind of issues, like Michael said, whack-a-mole are kind of tricky because that can happen in a lot of areas of the game. And so that was the issue with the crabs. There wasn't any gameplay that you would have seen or noticed. It was just like something kind of running in the background that was causing that slowdown. Really sucked. We were like, why is it so bad? Why is this crab so expensive?
Yeah, the crab is not a complex thing. You know, the crab's just a little guy. Yeah.
Just a little guy trying his best.
Just a little guy in the game.
Yeah. Mina said the other day, he's like, that was the real final boss. And then we made a lot of fixes that people were really excited about. So we're still fixing some of these because these are another whack-a-mole type of issue, but there were a lot of things that like weren't buildable from like storage. So we fixed a bunch, and we're going to continue to fix them because we're finding a couple more things. So a lot of like quality of life fixes, I think, that people really appreciated, which was really awesome. But as always, some new bugs too. So if you're experiencing any new bugs in the patch, we would love to hear that. We would love to try to fix them. So please let us know. There are a couple little bugs coming in, but if there's anything that you saw that you feel like is new to this patch, please report it, and we'll investigate it.
You heard it here. Steph would love to hear you're experiencing new bugs.
Damn. Am I the villain? Was it only the big crabs or all crabs? It was actually, I think, all crabs, but there's a lot less crabs in the reef because we have those big ones, so there's just like a few and you don't see them that often, versus like there's a lot more crabs in the embrace. So I think it was all crabs. It's just that it was really bad there because there's so many more of them in one spot. Never seen the flying crabs though. I don't think that's a very common bug, but it does happen. It's pretty funny when it happens.
Possible.
How are we ever gonna fix that bug? I don't know.
I don't know. I think Certain Doom just posted about another flying boat, and I was like, I swear we fixed that twice.
At least. Yeah. Sometimes it just be like that. Awesome. But yeah, I would love to hear if you're having bugs so that we can fix them.
Sure.
But yeah, that's kind of some of the recent updates. Are there any other announcements we have, Michael? I don't think so, but
I don't think so. I mean, it's been busy times. A lot of this feedback has sort of driven us to replan a good chunk of our upcoming year, which I think is what Steph's going to talk about next. I've been really busy doing that.
Yeah.
Other than that, no. I mean, we're planning out our next sale windows, which is kind of fun, but probably not super important for folks here who probably already own the game.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, I think in about February or so, we will be running another sale on the game. We'll announce like more specific dates once it's a little closer. But if you have any friends that haven't bought yet and you want to play with them, that would be a good time to try to drag them in. But yeah, let's talk a little bit about what's coming next. So we're not ready to share the full roadmap yet. So just to preface that, like Michael said, we're taking in a lot of the feedback. We're taking in a lot of what we're seeing happen in the game as people are playing and reporting bugs or giving us feedback. I mean, even from seeing the results of the December patch, we've changed our roadmap quite a bit to like focus on performance really heavily, for example. But also even like the types of systems and content that we're thinking about are all kind of shifting as we see what's the most important thing to fix or address in the game, what is like the big most missing features. So it's changing all the time. We hope that we'll share a new roadmap really soon. But especially the stuff we were most confident in, and I think is really exciting, hopefully. We wanted to share a little bit, give a little bit of a spoiler to the roadmap that's coming. So hopefully this will be fun. Also, any plans for more building pieces for bases and boats? Definitely for bases. For boats, we haven't talked actually as much yet, but we definitely should, because I think there's some things we wanted to add originally with the update that didn't quite make it in. And so I will definitely keep just adding more content generally to systems like building. But probably depends a little bit on how much or what types of content. So if you have requests for what kind of building pieces you'd want to see either for bases or the boats, I would love to hear that in Discord so we could put it on our backlog. Sarah Bear noticed my counter for number of spirits was borked. It's been borked for a little while, especially for people that completed the game. Because as we add new spirits or we like rework which ones are in the world or not, it like just breaks the counter because we're counting your total you've ever gotten, not how many are in the world. So we're gonna do some reworking of that to make that number more reliable. But so it is gonna be a little borked for the time being, and it is not fixed yet. But let's talk about some of these things. So farming is one of the big ones that we're adding soon. In the next few. Like our next content patch is going to feature a big farming update, which is one of our highly requested features on the feature upvote too, which is really exciting because I love when things like the players want also make a lot of sense for like what kind of needs we see in the game. That's like always the best. This is like our second most highest upvoted post on the board or something like that. And I have this very funny video of we're experimenting with animations and trying to figure out what we can do. So this is actually, I think, secretly a gun animation with the water can. So we're doing some prototyping right now to figure out how it's going to work and what kind of mechanics are going to come with farming. But I thought that video was really funny. There was a whole series of what if this thing in the game was a gun that we did for a few days. It's pretty fun, it turns out. But yeah, so we're working on a big farming update. So you'll be able to collect and find seeds out in the world. So like as you're harvesting plants or maybe inside of like chests and other things, you'll find seeds. You can bring them back to your base. You can build planter plots. Put seeds in them. They'll grow. You can water them. We're hoping that we'll be able to do things like fertilizer. Maybe that will be in this patch, or maybe it'll be in a follow-up patch. And like being able to like also recycle your grown fruits into seeds so that if you did find like, or like a found fruit into seeds, so if you found like something like Titan root in the environment but you didn't get a seed, maybe there'll be a station that'll help you kind of like extract the seeds from that. Well, thank you. I meant to put this in here and I think I didn't.
All good.
I was happy to flip this into in development this morning. I was excited. And yeah, we've talked about also how spirits in your base could help you. Maybe not like literally be on your plots, so maybe we're kind of exploring some stuff like that too. But at least that like upgrading your base can help farming be like more effective and stuff. So big update for farming, and we're hoping that almost anything that you can get as like a food or a plant in the world, like trees, and not the decorative ones unfortunately, but like trees and like fruits and vegetables and other stuff you can like bring back to your base and grow. Kind of miss the little stations that the spirits could work at. I know, we did too. We've been talking about what kind of way. We think that the way that it was working before doesn't make sense to bring back, but we also really remember that and really love that. So I think we are really interested. And actually that kind of segues very, at least, well, it's not stations, but it's other stuff. We're going to make spirits hang out more in your base. People really love spirits being in their base. That's something we see a lot in our like survey feedback. Actually, also, this was my task that I got to do. I got to figure out what furnitures they go on and what animations they play, and that was really fun for me. But I've never felt so made for a task in my whole life. But so we're gonna have more spirits hanging out in your base. So again, as you're kind of building up your spirit sanctuary and making it like more appealing for spirits to come, you'll be rewarded not with them just showing up on those spirit amenities, but them showing up in all kinds of areas in your base. So especially like all of the seating. They'll be showing up on your seating and furniture. I think we will have them show up on some stations, but maybe not as gameplay, but just for fun. So expect to see a lot. Actually, there's one really funny screenshot. I wonder if I can pull it up. There was like, we were playtesting this, and we're like, oh, it's pretty cool. Like, they're not like too, dense or spammy. We were like worried maybe that would be like too much. And it felt really awesome for a long time. And then suddenly, they like, I don't know, called a meeting in this area. And all of the spirits showed up on all of these like seating options all at once. And it was so funny. We're like, what are they doing? It was so we were like, why are they all right here? It's so funny. Look at that guy.
Oh, that's so cute.
Look at him. I love this. Is actually like, it's so small in terms of like, because there's like no gameplay or anything like that, but it made it really special feeling. I feel like because I built a test base to like kind of test these mechanics and like built amenities and tried to build it in somewhat like a realistic like decorative way to see kind of how it would feel like as a person who is like building a normal base. The other one in the other room is not invited. Sag.
Seeing all penguins standing in a circle.
Yeah. But it was really cool to like just walk around the base and see the spirits kind of coming in and out and chilling on other stuff. It was, I don't know, it was very delightful. So I hope that people will really like that. And yeah, I love that this guy barely fits on this chair. It's so funny.
Someone had a question before we continue. In Sin Grey Pause. When is Voyagers of Nera coming out on PS5? No timetable yet. Realistically, it's something that we'd probably need a publisher's help in order to like handle the porting and all of like the costs of actually like getting it onto, you have to get like a PlayStation dev kit or like a Switch dev kit, which is like effectively like a developer's version of the hardware, so you can actually like port it over there. And then there's a long and pretty challenging process of getting it like certified to actually ship on their hardware. So that's probably something we can't do alone. But with the game out, it's a lot easier to be like, hey, publisher, you could make money by, helping us publish the game onto a new platform. So that's something that's actually kind of coming up for us, is sort of like taking the temperature again and saying, hey, like, who's actually interested in helping us do this? So hopefully we'll have news on that in the future. What is that, by the way, the spooky guy?
That's Kyle.
Oh, that was Kyle sitting there?
Yeah, it's Kyle sitting there with the hunter's mask on.
Oh, that's creepy.
We also had a first time chat from Maori. Good day, Voyagers. How you doing? We're good. Welcome in. Hope you're excited to hear some development updates. And a first time chat
hope you're
from
Australian.
Good day. And also first time chat from Magnan17. Thank you. Welcome in. Good day. We also got another question actually. Are you guys using Claude Code? I guess, well, Mike, I don't know if you want to talk to it or if I want to talk to it, but
Sure. I mean, I am a little bit, actually. Something that I'm not particularly good at that I needed help with was trying to financially forecast our sales. And so that was kind of helpful because it's been a while since I've done stats in college. So that helped me a little bit. Yeah, I don't know. Are you using it for anything right now?
I'm not. But we have been using it. We've kind of been experimenting with it a little bit in the project too. Because we're a pretty small team, as you guys may know. And sometimes, especially like engineering, for example, can be like a really big bottleneck. And we've established a lot of engineering like fundamentals in the game, like the structure of the game. But it's kind of weird. Like sometimes it's like there are changes you want to make that you don't really need an engineer for. Like it's like not a big effort on their part and it's not like a lot of time, but it's like you get this like little like list of things that like stack up and a designer's like, oh, I wish I could do this, but I need an engineer to make this change. But it doesn't take like a really in-depth type of change to make. And so we have been trying to experiment with that so that our designers can be a little bit more empowered actually to like modify code where it like is appropriate for them to do so and like kind of help accelerate our own work a little bit. So we have been experimenting with it a little bit. but not really like a huge amount. Really just to kind of be like, hey, how can we kind of unlock a little bit more capability for especially our designers, I think, to be able to interface with code and not always be blocked on an engineer. So I think that's been pretty awesome, though. It's been pretty helpful.
Look at that doughboy Tum. And would y'all bring Voyagers to GeForce Now at some point in the future?
We have looked at that too. Yeah, we've gotten a lot of suggestions. We tried to look into it last year, and we had a little bit of like there's like not a lot of documentation about like how to do that as a company actually, which is very interesting. But one of the things that was blocking us to doing that at all was cloud saves, which we added last year. So now that we have cloud saves, we can actually go on GeForce Now, which before we couldn't. So it's definitely on the table. It's something we want to explore, but it's not something we've been able to do quite yet. I don't know if this is even a good question because I haven't built a couch yet, but are players able to sit on? I answered this in the chat, but just to answer it aloud too. Players can sit emote on top of the couch to kind of simulate sitting on it, but we don't have like a like an interact prompt that like seats you. We do want to do that. We plan to do that. Our goal is to do that. So I hope that we'll have an update in the future where you'll be able to like interact with the furniture more easily.
Yeah, we have so much dope furniture to sit upon.
Yeah. Let's keep going. We'll answer, I think, some more questions in the chat in a little bit, but let's keep going. So some more updates, very spirit related, actually. I don't have a really cool screenshot for this, so this is just like a design document screenshot. But we're also working on a really big rework to like our sanctuary score and our power, plus adding some like rested buffs. So something we've gotten a lot of feedback on, and we've tried to fix it like through some like small UI updates or changes or tweaks, but we haven't really made, I think, a very big dent in it. Was like the power system generally and how it works and how amenities work alongside that. And so we're exploring some really big changes there to make it a lot more straightforward to like build up a new base, make it a lot more understandable how power is working, and actually to make amenities like kind of like more meaningful to build. And so we'll be doing some new content and some rearrangement of content too. But so now I think instead of having to build amenities to like juice your, I don't know a better word for it, or charge your spirit anchor. You know, spirit, for people that are experienced with the system, you'll know that the spirit anchor has like a max level, which is like the maximum power you could achieve. And then spirit amenities help charge the battery basically for the spirit anchor to make it actually output that amount of power. But that's been really confusing. Our goal was kind of like that players would want to build and be rewarded for building these like sanctuaries for spirits. That was always the goal, but the system kind of like functionally made you do it, but wasn't super intuitive and wasn't like super fun, I think, to play around. So we're going to simplify it so that your actual base power level comes from the level of your spirit anchor. So if your spirit anchor is level 1, it will output level 1 power. If it's level 7, it will output level 7 power, whether you've built spirit amenities or not. However, we're going to kind of move some of the benefits and create some new ones too off of the spirit anchor and move them onto amenities so that you get a little bit of a choice. So if you're like, hey, I want a warming volume in this area in my base, I can put the hot tub, the spirit little hot tub thing in my base, and it will create a warming volume around it. Or I can put this like spirit totem or tree or whatever the buildable we choose into the base, and it'll create like an AoE speed zone so I can like zip through my base. And so we'll kind of be actually making the amenities more of like an opt-in thing to actually benefit your base directly. So the spirit anchor will still level up and have benefits, like the aura will get bigger, how it suppresses enemies will stay kind of built into the spirit anchor, and some benefits will stay on that for sure. But a lot of the things that kind of change like what types of benefits you get from your base are going to move on to the spirit amenities, which will hopefully be fun. And yeah, so you'll definitely still have amenities. Valacrypton, because yeah, the amenities make the base become a sanctuary. Can't not have them. So we totally agree. But hopefully this will also give you a little bit more like want to build like specific ones, and also there'll still be ones that are purely cosmetic too, so you can still build little spirit beds if you just want them to show up. And now, because of the other change, they'll also just show up generally more around your base too. So you'll, even if you weren't building those, if you're like, hey, I don't want to build a hot tub, I don't need a warming volume, you can still have spirits showing up in your base as you're making it more of a safe haven for them. So I hope that that'll make that system more intuitive and also like more fun. It'll make building your next base as you go to a new zone a lot easier, I think, actually, to stand up, which I think is going to be like a really big benefit. But it'll also make it more fun, I think, to like craft your space around how you want to use it. And so that'll be really exciting. Water traps, I really hope we can do this one. We really want to. This is like one of the types of changes we want to do with farming, is to also add some like water farming. So like a water trap that could like attract resources passively. We have had to make a couple of like cuts to the scope of our milestone to make sure that we can hit it by like a good date, and get the update out. And water traps is one of the ones that might be on the chopping block for this update, but we really want to do it, and I think we will do it eventually. But it may not come in this initial farming update, which is sad. And then another thing,
Point.
huh? Oh, sorry, you go.
I was going to say, Keller Point, thank you for the sub.
Oh yeah, thank you for pointing that out. So another thing that's coming along with this big base rework is rested buffs also. So I think another kind of gap we have a little bit in like how you get rewarded for building your base is like you can build a base for cosmetic reasons, but you don't get a lot of like tangible benefits from doing it. So not only did we want to kind of drive some of that through changing up some of how the amenities work, but we also wanted to kind of incorporate a what we're calling a rested buff. A lot of other games have a kind of similar concept too, but like as you're building out your base and your kind of comfort score is going up, which will be, I think, driven by amenities, but also other things, you will unlock kind of access to like buffs in your base. And so if you rest in your like sanctuary at level 1, sleeping in the bed will, like increase your max stamina maybe. If it's like level 2, it might increase your HP and your stamina for like a longer time. And so we're going to start also kind of laddering in the system that will hopefully make it like a little bit more rewarding in your actual gameplay to build out your base. So yeah, hopefully a lot more incentives to build and decorate. We kind of generally felt, and this is a lot of the focus of the next upcoming update, that there wasn't enough to do in the base and there weren't enough reasons to do things in the base, even if there were things to do. And so we really wanted to push. I think I've like tentatively named it like tend, build, thrive or something. We really wanted to like emphasize like, hey, you want to be in your base, you want to tend it, you want to grow it, you want to make it into the sanctuary, you really want to like improve it. And we wanted to like make that actually like incentivizing and rewarding to do it. Yeah, people just sleep to pass the night right now. There's not a lot of benefit otherwise. And we'll also add resting during the day, too. Oh, yeah, thank you, Revenant Whip, for the sub. Also, I see you in Discord a lot, so thanks for hopping in here with us, too.
To Steph's note on that, I think players have given us this feedback for a little bit of just some of the lopsidedness of not having enough to do at home, or rather, like you build a really beautiful space and you want more to do there that is like somehow helping the arc of the game, or helping you with like your teammate who might be going out and getting supplies. Like, what can you do at the base to also be sort of participating in that? So this has been sort of like clearly, farming thing we were showing earlier. Players have also been thinking of this for sure, right? We've gotten a lot of feedback. I think that's one of the most natural places where people's brains go, of being like, I wish I could do this at the base. Oh yeah, for Pickle Lil, you should check this out if you missed this earlier. Pickle Lil asked, did I miss the date for the next update drops? We don't have a date yet, but if that is any indication of where watering is currently at, we need a little bit more time. We're just getting started. This is first prototype.
It's so funny. Literally, Tim posted this video. Tim is our designer working on this, and he's like, I hope these plants are ready to get watered. Oh my god. It's so funny. But yeah, I think we're tentatively targeting kind of end of March, early April. So that's when we're hoping to have this big content update out. So that's at least a rough time zone for you. Like I mentioned to you way earlier in the stream, but I mean, this is where a huge amount of our effort. Honestly, I wish we could have more features in this update. If we we were like, oh, we have to cut water traps probably for now because we don't have enough bandwidth. It's because part of it, other than just like features are expensive and hard to make sometimes, is like we're dedicating a big portion of our effort to performance. So like literally our amazing designer / performance guy Ben is like kind of in. He made a special Discord channel in our Discord called the Engine Room where he sits and does lots of performance investigations and tracing and updates. So he's really focusing on performance. And so I really hope with this update, not only will we deliver a bunch of new content and systems that will hopefully be really fun and awesome and deepen the game content a lot, but we will also hopefully majorly improve performance. So it'll be a lot better as an experience to play. I really hope. Yeah, sometimes performance takes precedent, and that's perfectly okay. Yeah, I hope so. It's always a tough, we have a lot of priorities and a lot of things that people want. People ask all the time, like, when's the new biome coming? I want more gameplay. Like, when's there a new content update? But we also have bugs and performance issues and, like, all kinds of stuff that comes up. And so it can be really tough sometimes. Like, you never 100% know if you're making the right, at least I feel this way a lot. I never 100% know if I'm making the right decision by being like, no, sorry, you can't have this new feature because we have to fix performance. It can be really hard to do that, but I think it's really important. And so I really, really hope that we can still deliver cool content updates and increase performance as well.
It does kind of feel like being a boring, responsible adult, though.
I know, it sucks.
It's like it won't.
I don't want to make a salad. I want to eat ice cream.
It won't bring joy to have this, but it won't prevent the destruction of joy.
Yeah.
Or it will prevent that,
Thank you. Also, thanks for the kind words. I am really glad. I feel like really lucky that we have a very understanding community that also advocates for us, because I think you guys, like in the chat, even what you're doing right now. So thank you for your support. I really appreciate it. So other things that are a little further out that I wanted to share too. We have nice things at home. Fog of War is another feature we're adding and prototyping right now. This one is probably coming out in a further out update than the March one, because it needs a lot more time to kind of test and work on. But we are adding a Fog of War feature. And so we'll probably actually dark launch this. That's funny. Dark launch Fog of War in the March patch. And it'll start to track your movements. So also people who have been playing a bit will kind of not be starting 100% from scratch if they're start like playing on continuing their existing file. Excuse me. And so we will probably dark launch this in March to start tracking your movement data. And then in maybe a patch during the summer, we'll actually like launch this as a real feature, and hopefully with a lot of other updates of the world and more content in the world too. Oh, that's awesome. People are excited. This would be individual characters instead of the whole server. Yeah, so each player would have their own map and kind of reveal Fog of War on their own. Partially because we felt that made sense and kind of helped like with some of the cooperative gameplay, but also people have been asking too for a lot more like things that are like that they can discover on their own versus like everything being shared. So we are definitely keeping that in mind as we kind of develop some features like this. Like, should it be shared, and is there a reason why? Can I ask why you're calling a Fog of War specifically? That's just, I don't know what this type of feature is called. In other games, it's called this. Like, we come from like a League of Legends background. And so in League of Legends, the shadows on the map are called Fog of War. And a lot of other games, it's just kind of I think a shorthand gaming nomenclature from probably games like that being popular. StarCraft used it, yeah.
Strategy kind of holdover that made it very popular, and now it's just that way, even if it's not the same level of like, I don't know, threat.
Yeah, I mean, you don't know, there might be some deep guys hiding in there. Yeah, so that's why, sorry. But yeah, so we're adding like a kind of map discovery though, so the map will start occluded, and as you as you journey around, you can see like this person has like kind of carved out a path through here. So you will discover the map as you kind of walk around and journey in the world. So hopefully this will also be like really fun for new players. And yeah, I think for even existing players, like Prongs mentioned, it'll hopefully help keep track of like where you've been. So like people are like, I don't know if I found this like monolith. You'll be able to see this unexplored version of the map. How wide will your carved path be? We don't know exactly yet. So that's part of what we'll be kind of experimenting with and tweaking as we kind of like play test the feature more across the next few months. But I think right now this is about how wide it is. So I think it's a pretty wide discovery area. We may make it smaller, we may make it bigger. We also want to add some more mechanics ideally on top of this too, if we can fit them in. Like, so I mentioned it's like really fun from a cooperative standpoint to have your own map because you can kind of share information with someone who maybe doesn't have that part of the map unlocked. A lot of games, and especially like there's a feature I really love in Core Keeper, will allow you somehow to share the map like periodically. So Core Keeper, if you haven't played it, it's a really great game. It has like this cartography table that if you're discovering the map, you can go and interact with it and it will share your map. But it's kind of opt-in. So other players, if they want to share the map, will go interact with the cartography table and they'll get like the latest. You kind of like upload to it basically. And that's a really fun kind of mechanic for players in multiplayer to like be able to share with each other. We also want to add some maybe special mechanics too, like we have these like broken down like lighthouses around the map. Maybe you can restore those and they will reveal a bigger area. So when you get to like a new zone, you can kind of have one like initial big discovery zone before you kind of like venture out into the darkness. So we're really excited about, I think, the different kinds of features that this can kind of include or help with, or maybe even, like finding a spirit could reveal the map. Maybe a special trait if you're in like the wind tree because it has a kind of like scouting focused ability set could be that it like reveals fog of war in like a bigger radius. So I think over time there's a lot of really fun ways to expand a system like this. So we're really excited about this one. Lots of chatter. I'm glad people are excited. I never know sometimes like which features will be most exciting for people. And sometimes ones like this can feel very like functional. So it's really awesome actually that people are so excited about it. My kiddos wrote me into playing Core Keeper with him when it has updates. It's so fun. I love Core Keeper. I probably play it once a year at least.
That was really well timed in the pandemic for us.
Oh my god, I played it so much during COVID. It was crazy. I think it might, other than our game, it might be my most played survival crafting game. I've played it at least 4 times or something like.
Yeah, would highly recommend.
I love it. We're also adding some new hair colors. This is very small, but hopefully fun. If you were in one of the late night Discord chats where we were posting some screenshots of this and taking some requests, you may have seen this already. But we're gonna hopefully. Oh, I love the pink. I was like, we need this color. It's important. But yeah, so hopefully we're adding a lot more hair colors. And some of these will extend to like eye colors too. So hopefully there'll be some more character customization options. We also have some hairstyles. We're trying to figure out when we can get them in. So hopefully some more customization options coming. But this one is definitely coming in a future update. So that's exciting. But yeah, so like I mentioned, we'll share a fuller roadmap soon. This is kind of just like the first, some of the biggest, I think, things or like things that I'm most confident sharing that I think are definitely going to happen. But we will definitely... is it just me or the secondary, tertiary hair colors not seem to do much? They don't do much. And in some hairstyles, they don't do anything. So we're also going to be looking into that to try to figure out what makes sense. It's kind of people who are game devs will probably be familiar with this, but sometimes people work on features and they like have left or like maybe like the feature is just like really old. Like our character creator is actually really old and a external development studio helped us make it. But so it's kind of like... lost to the sands of time a little bit, how we do something like a tertiary color setup. So we have to figure out kind of how that works. But we would really like to like make those more consistent across the hairstyles, give everything a kind of like pass at that. So definitely we plan to be investigating that soon. It just hasn't been that high priority for us yet. But yeah, you're not going crazy. They definitely don't work on like most of the hairstyles. It was kind of like a feature that was like from some of our experimentation early about how for really old players, you'll probably remember when we had just like clothing. And it was actually more of a control for like clothing and being able to customize the color of those things. So yeah, the hairstyle that has like the headband, that the reason that one is the only one that those settings work on is because it was kind of part of that like clothing prototype. So it's kind of ancient technology at this point. But I think we definitely, I'd really love to do like ombres or highlights, or like a lot of the hairs have accessories that you can't color. I would really love to do that. Oh, the forest green is sick. This one came from specifically a Discord suggestion. Someone was going back and forth on me, and I was trying to find exactly the color she was trying to get. So I'm glad you like it. She has good taste.
Magnan says, I have to say, I love that you're learning as you journey through the dev process and really engaging the community for feedback. Boy, I don't know how much of this sort of history that you've been here for, but you've probably seen this game evolve a lot if you've been watching the dev stream over the last almost 2 years that we've been doing this now.
Oh my
Maybe
God.
a year and a half that we've been doing these dev streams. And actually getting to the point where we could really expose a lot more and share a lot more forward feedback was like a really big pivotal moment, because it just made everything make a lot more sense, and it was just much more enjoyable as developers. So no, we're very glad to do this, and if people are hopefully learning something about how development works, like all the nitty gritty part of it, then that's fun for us too. Hi, Mythical Sushi.
There's another question that came up in the chat. Where'd it go? New plushies win. I would really love to do some new plushies. We do have, as you can see in this board as a spoiler, we do have one plushie waiting in the wings to come out. So this one's gonna come out with the Sansi biome, because that's gonna be where you find the fire elder spirit. And I don't know, we just thought it makes sense for him to come out with that. So we do have him waiting in the wings. I would really love to do even more plushies. Kind of, we did our baseline of the spirits and this spider from my request, because I don't know, I just thought it was funny to have a cute plushie of a kind of gross thing. That's kind of my vibe. But I would really love to add more plushies. We've talked about what if there was a big plushie of this guy that's kind of like those Snorlax beds that you can buy, where it's a giant Snorlax plushie you could sleep on. I would love to have something like that in our game, but with the spirit. So if you have suggestions for things in the game that you're I wish there was a plushie of this creature, definitely let us know, because I think we would be really excited to make more plushies. We love them. I'd grind so hard to have a plushie spirit as a bed. I know. Oh my God, same. Someone else actually mentioned earlier too, they were if we had outfits that are findable in the world, I would hunt for those. I would grind for those. Totally agree. We love things like that. We actually really hope that maybe we can bring back some of our old outfits as findables in the world. That's going to be a big kind of focus. We didn't talk about that as much because those plans are very nascent still. But in the summer update, we're hoping to really add a bunch more exploration mechanics and rewards to the game. We've gotten a lot of feedback that the world's feeling kind of empty, or there's just not a lot of enough activities to do, enough things to find in the world. And so we're really hoping to make a big push there. So things instead of everything coming from the tech tree, that maybe you can find recipes in the world and bring them back to learn them. And those can be special items either decorations or maybe outfits if we can do it, maybe more hair color, something like that. So more underwater content. So we're really hoping to make a big push on our next milestone, kind of after we get farming and other things locked down, to just add a bunch more exploration content in the world. So we're really excited, especially for things I think our team really loves especially cosmetic rewards. So I think we would be really excited to do that.
I regret to inform everybody that Makeship for IRL plushies has not responded to me ever. So we are probably not cool enough, or haven't sold millions of copies of the game, or whatever the requirement is to make IRL plushes. Sorry.
Maybe the community can petition them.
Yeah.
I don't really know how that works.
I don't know either. I just went through their online form and did not get a response, I'm afraid.
First time chat from Golden Hellwolf. I finally have a PC so I can play. I'm happy to hear that.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Couple questions.
Mythical Sushi, just real quick, popped in, and I was we were just talking about you earlier. This post about your many boats. I was talking about your prolific boats on your server. But that the performance updates helped you, so that was really exciting for me. Sorry, you said we had some questions, huh?
Yes, Mythical Sushi actually asks, is the new biome on the next horizon? Unfortunately, I think the answer is...
It's a little farther out than we originally wanted. I think originally we were really gung ho about.
We just went over a couple of the other things to we're gonna be focusing on first. Sorry, you're gonna show Mythical really quick.
Oh, it's good. I think I showed them, but I think you're lagging maybe a bit, or I'm lagging too, Michael. I don't know. So just FYI, we might be desynced a little bit. But yeah, we did end up pushing, unfortunately, the biome out a bit further, especially because we think that just to be hopefully not too spoilery, but kind of transparent, we kind of hope to end the core story of the game in the final biome. Which, probably makes some sense, I would guess. But so that kind of means, especially, well, one, we have these updates that I think we really want to add to the base version of the game so that new people coming in, but also kind of our just existing systems are a lot stronger. And especially doing that before we add another biome, because a lot of times those mechanics, like new crafting recipes or new types of tools, like farming tools, often come with a bundle of biome content. You usually release a biome and it comes with the next tier of tool upgrades, or these next tier of buildables. And so we kind of want to improve a bunch of our core systems first, so that when we build out the biome content, we're kind of building it with that in mind, versus trying to release a biome kind of in the middle and then retrofit a bunch of the stuff. That can be really difficult. So the next biome, or when we release especially the Sand Sea, which is the one we've mentioned specifically, that will kind of end the story content. But it's not going to be the game isn't going to quote end. You'll still be able to play. And we'll probably still expand the content after that too. It'll just be the culmination of the plot of the Echoes and the Ancients and some of the stuff you've been reading about in the lore. Well, active chat suddenly. It is kind of, it's Q&A time.
I know.
So.
Yeah.
How did the winter sale go? Michael, do you want to talk about that?
Oh, it went pretty well. So it's it's our first time actually having a game on Steam. And you guys have probably seen some stuff on game news sites and stuff where it's just wow, there's so many games on Steam nowadays. And that's super true. The competition of launching a game on Steam, having a game on Steam, has never been higher. It's never been more intense. So we were okay, we're gonna have this big update with the winter sale and put the game on our biggest discount ever, and really hopefully try to reach more people. But also, literally everyone else is going to be trying to do the same thing at the same time. So, how's that gonna go? And the answer is it's gone pretty well, actually. We've had a lot of new people come check out the game. I think got a ton of useful new feedback. Also, unfortunately, a new wave of people running into some of the recent performance issues and stuff like that have been causing some pain, and some of our current updates are informed by that. But overall, I can't really complain. Really happy with the number of people who came and found the game. Also, at some point we should probably do a post about this or something. But we passed 100,000 people who've played the game, which is really cool. Which is kind of just a crazy number of people who've played something that you've worked
Very
on.
cool.
Played and enjoyed something that you've poured a lot of effort into. So that's really, really cool as a feeling. There's probably some way to dress that up or add some fanfare and stuff, but it's just really neat to see that hey, more people are continuing to find the game over time, which is something we hope is true. And
The dream.
survival crafting, I think, in particular, it's often oh, cool, I love that type of game. And then you don't actually buy it until it's the right vibe, the right mood, it's been long enough, the game's on sale, maybe you wait. And I think more and more people are just waiting for the 1.0 moment. So we're hoping, each time that we update the game, put it on sale, it finds some more people. So hopefully see more of that. Yeah, thanks guys. 100,000 is awesome. Great job. Congrats. Thank you so much. It's really cool. Maybe that should have just been a banner on the
True.
announcements or something.
Probably.
Okay.
Well, it's not too late.
We'll do that for next dev stream. We'll be hey guys, and then everyone can try and be surprised.
Let's see. Will there be more uses for crafted Elderwood later? I'm sad that we can only build one single thing on the boats. Yes, definitely. So one of the things I didn't mention it in this update because how do you say it? We're still figuring out exactly what it's going to look like and what we can do. But one thing that's been kind of in our backlog for a long time has been an Elderwood building kit, and specifically a round building kit. We used to have like a round building kit when our building system was like really old and like prototypey, which people really loved. But it turns out the math of a round building kit is very hard. Getting things to like line up and like work correctly and operate on our grid and all kinds of things. I think the old version was kind of even before we had some of the things like the grid. But we are investigating. We really hope we're going to be able to deliver the round building kit, which will be an Elderwood building kit. So that'll be a really heavy use of those buildables. But then I think also, yeah, once we add the next biome too, you'll kind of see, I think, the same pattern you see in like the other biomes, like where you kind of have this transition of like using those materials a little bit more heavily to build your next crafting stations and your tools. And so definitely there'll be like more uses for that in the future. And I think also, yeah, new furniture pieces that are going to be Elderwood specific too. We kind of have some of those things waiting in the wings a bit for one of our future updates. So hopefully that'll be a good use of those Elderwoods you guys have been farming for so long.
The big backlog. We're all waiting to see what Da Vinci will build next.
Oh my god, right? I know. I can't imagine when we release the round building kit, like all of our builders are going to come out of the woodworks and be doing these like crazy builds. I'm super excited to see that.
That's a big one.
Oh, you guys are so
thank
nice.
You, Mythical Sushi. Yeah, that's so kind.
And Sakura Tsubasa. You look so nice.
I know. We're already over. Any last few questions? We're trying to be better about not, taking everyone's like whole lunch hour and stuff.
Yeah, any last questions before we close out the stream? But definitely in a few weeks, we'll be coming back, our next regular dev stream, but I hope that we'll be able to share more updates about some of the things that have like progressed in development that we talked about today. Will new build systems also include triangles, like triangular sockets?
Oh my god. The you want circles, you want triangles, pentagons,
rhombuses. Rhombi? Not currently. Maybe more. I could see it happening more for, say, like walkways and stuff. Because I know that those have some, like, it would be nice if you could more easily do some, like, angles or kind of transitions there. In terms of, like, a full building kit, I think that's a little TBD. But if you have suggestions specifically, definitely post in the forums. Also, Michael, will the winners of the contests be announced soon?
I'm literally like, wait, which contest? Did we miss one?
Well, I know we didn't announce on a stream the winners of some of the contests, but I think we hopefully reached out to everybody. But maybe we didn't. Maybe we need to do a formal like announcement too, because I don't think we posted anywhere about who won.
Boat won. The boat won. Oh, okay. All right. I will go double check that. Oh my gosh, I have to dig through some DMs. No, thank you. Okay, I will go look into that one. Sorry.
Yeah, yeah, we did have a lot of giveaways.
I should have kept
boat and the emote one. So maybe check on the boat and the emotement, I think it was called.
Okay, thank you. I really should have kept this all on a spreadsheet. Okay. Thank you.
Probably this is maybe our last question. Is there a chance that we will be able to combine the building segments so we have one big roof instead of each section having its own roof? It's not off this table, but we don't currently have an active plan for it. We have it kind of in our backlog as a request, but it is kind of like a little, I don't know how to say it, like off a little bit from how our system like works. So we probably have to do some like figuring out to see if we can support something like that. Because like when you put something on the roof, we like literally like it has like a socket and we like occupy it so that you can't do things like accidentally put like 3 roofs on your house or slot another piece into that socket that's going to like cause a bunch of bugs or something. But if you were like to have like one big roof piece, we don't have the concept currently, I think, of it like occupying multiple sockets across like multiple buildings. So that's kind of like what we'd have to figure out. Do we do that or do we just like let people kind of work around it as they see fit and hope that they figure it out. Is that going to be confusing for new players who aren't super builders that are like, why is there this giant roof and it doesn't fit on my building? So some stuff to figure out there, but we have it in our backlog as a request, and I don't have any promises for it yet.
It's a tough tech art problem.
Oh
Every
my
time we
God,
talk
yeah.
about tech art, it's like one of the coolest things I think to talk about because it's like one of the most game devy subjects.
Mm-hmm.
And when you talk about it, I think people really it makes sense, but it's also like obtuse in such a game devy way. We actually had a stream. This must have been last fall, where Brandon and Kyle were on the stream talking about how build kits are constructed from our side, and it's like this sort of like Lego blueprint diagram of how all these pieces have to fit together or like cut out a hole so that a doorway can be there. And I think that would probably like better explain when we say like, hey, this roof sort of like understanding like a contiguous a structure, how complicated that would be. And you know, I think for a lot of people who are like uh, uh interested in game dev, it's like some of the most fascinating stuff. It's also like a very rare skill set within game dev because it's literally like someone who looks at problems like an artist, but is technical enough to also figure out their implementation. So that doesn't really tell you more about whether or not we can do it, but it is a fascinating example of like how complex a feature like that can be. Um,
Yeah, like someone was like, oh, like, you know, couldn't it just be that when you place like a roof piece next to another one, they like merge? But yeah, even like that is like kind of its like own really specific type of like tech art problem where you have to be like, okay, like how does it know if it's like intersecting a correct amount? How do we make sure it kind of like visually looks good? How do we make sure it always joins up in the right spots? What happens if like it detects that it, you know, like there might be times where it's like close so it thinks it should merge, but you don't actually want it to. So it is kind of like I think it's always funny because there's like lots of solutions that make sense, especially like I actually hit this all the time because I do a lot of our like user experience design currently, and so it's like I'm like, well, this makes the most sense as a player for this to work this way, and then the engineer or whoever is on the other side of that is like, okay, well, if we do this, like if you want to pause the timer on this thing, that means we have to like totally refactor how we track the timers. It means we need to like make sure this other timer actually like tracks its time. We need to make sure that all of the clients get the update about the accurate time. It's like crazy. So it is like it's very interesting how small things can get so big.
yeah. And also, when you think about this as like the first thing in a game, when you're like, oh yeah, the game is for sure going to have this, it's so different than working on a code base that is now like 3 years old or 4 years old or whatever, because anything you do is like fighting previous decisions sometimes. Um,
Mhm. Yeah, actually, this is a really interesting one too. I didn't think of, but like, so like probably an easier solution that would work in our system. As an example, I think Mythical Sushi suggested this. I think this is what you meant. It's like you could imagine too, like a version could be like you just have a piece that is like the roof, kind of like cut in half, so it like still occupies like the same space as like the roof socket, and it goes on the single building. But you know, just as a player, you have to make sure to like match them up. So like you get like a half roof piece basically for your big buildings. So yeah, I think there's kind of like lots of another good example. There's so many ways to like break down the problem too, depending on like what kind of makes sense, what we think will be intuitive, what works in our system, or if it doesn't, like should we kind of update it. But yeah, definitely keep the suggestions coming because I love it. But so I can't
yeah,
promise anything about big roofs, like Michael said, but definitely we have it on our backlog, and I hope we'll be able to find something there because we know people love to do that.
yeah, yeah. The box, the box of parts, is that the right term? Yeah, the box of
Mm-hmm.
parts approach is probably an easier fit for how our building system is currently constructed, but you know also means more work for the average player to figure out how to make it look nice. But hey, for a lot of the super builders, they're like, you know, very used to that.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's always a struggle. Super builders versus regular builders are very different beasts too.
Yeah.
Awesome though. I do think yeah, we probably need to wrap up this one. Yeah, maybe someone's like maybe you need to make the streams longer in the future. I think we'll probably try to vary the type of stream content in the future too. So we might do one that's less announcement style and more just like AMA at some point. We've done a few of those in the past and those have been
It's a
really
good
fun.
idea.
So if there's any kind of type of stream you'd like to see us do, let us know. We're always looking for ideas of what kind of like content we could do with the community and what kind of streams would be fun. This is our default kind of one because we often have a lot of updates to share and we think this is fun. But ask me anything. Sometimes I would bet though that streaming is against medical advice too.
Yes, we also cannot provide any medical advice.
But yeah, if you have suggestions for what you'd want to see us stream in the future, let us know. Post in our Discord. But otherwise, we'll see you back again in about 2 weeks for another normal development stream update. And thanks as always. It's been super fun chatting with you guys. I hope you enjoyed the stream. I hope we answered your questions. If we didn't, definitely feel free to post in our Discord and like ask any follow-ups if we missed something. But yeah.
We are always around. Great to chat as always, folks.
Yes, we'll see you on the next one. Thanks, everybody. See you next time.
Bye.
Oh, wait, we gotta raid out. I gotta remember to do that.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, we're gonna switch to the thanks for watching, and we'll mute, and then we'll figure out who we're gonna raid.